Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Quad Threat Talk. I am your host, Matthew Logio, and in today's episode, we are dissecting some of the major trades in the NHL. I'm joined by RJ, Adrian, and McKenna. Some of the trades we'll be going over is the Brad Marchand trade, Kuzmenko to the Kings, Rantanen. We got two trades in there to talk about, and then Brock Nelson to the Colorado Avalanche. These major trades are actually shaking up some of the rosters, and fans are going crazy over it. And we'll be talking about things such as the financial landscape and offering a great lesson for sports fans. Uh, I'll hand it off to you, Adrian, to talk about our first trade.
Right, so our first trade that we have is the Andrei Kuzmenko. Well, let's first start off who he is and why he's generating so much buzz. Kuzmenko made it to the NHL and North America when he signed a one-year entry deal with the Vancouver Canucks in July of 2022. His first NHL season was a rousing success, signing a two-year, 11 mil contract in 2023 and scoring 39 goals in 81 games to tie Elias Pettersson for the Canucks lead. He was then later traded to Calgary in 2024, scoring 4 minutes and 20 seconds into his Flames debut, resulting in a win against the Bruins on November 6th, a 4-1 win. That was Kuzmenko was the fifth fastest player in Flames debut ahead of Eddie Beers on March 17, 1982. He proceeded to play two seasons with the Flames before getting traded off to Philly for a trade with Jacob Pelletier and a second round draft pick in the 2025 entry NHL draft and a seventh round pick in the 2028 NHL draft for Morgan Frost and Joel Fabry. He then proceeded to get traded again from Philly to LA for an exchange for a third round pick in the 2027 entry draft with 50% of his salary being retained by the Flyers. Now, Kuzmenko, what could he bring to the Kings' side of things? Kuzmenko's rookie season showed off his potential to score goals at a high level. For the Kings, Kuzmenko can revert to his timing on the offense in a system that values puck possession and forechecking in the opponent's zone. Most significantly, his ability to generate scoring chances off a rush, his acceleration, ability to open up a whole defensive coverages, and vision to find passing lanes for others should greatly benefit the Kings. What could he bring on the power play? He brings the dynamic upgrade to the issue the Kings have and is perfect in tight spaces. His willingness to be a net front presence in the Kings system, which should help them acquire a valuable asset on both the power play and at even strength. His ability to absorb contact while maintaining control scoring areas in scoring area mirrors a bit of Victor Arvidsson's presence before leaving LA. Now, his chemistry with the players. This timing gives Kuzmenko time to gel with this team and create chemistry before the playoffs. This will help the Kings gain momentum to solidify their playoff standing in the ferociously competitive Pacific Division, possibly catching the Oilers for fifth spot and securing home advantage in the first round. Um, Now we move on to McKenna's trade. So, what do you think Brad Marchand is going to bring to um, Florida?
Um, I think he's obviously a seasoned veteran. He's been in the league for 16 years and he's known for his scoring ability and tendency. And yes, he has a little bit of a weird side to him where he likes to be a little bit more aggressive and up close and personal with other players. But I feel like his presence is going to enhance the offensive depth and provide valuable playoff experience as they aim for a deep postseason run. So I was saying that the Boston Bruins have had a very disappointing season this year. They're currently sitting second in the Atlantic Division. Very inconsistent team with defensive issues and lack of scoring depth. This was leading to a 6-game winless streak as of recently. And obviously, the major turning point of the trade with their longtime captain, Brad, to the Florida Panthers is shifted toward roster restructuring, or at least that's what I think. And the coaching instability also plays a role as their old coach, Jim Montgomery, got fired in November with Joe Sacco taking over for him as interim coach. As of right now, their playoff chances are below 26%. And I feel like during the offseason, they're going to be like more rebuilding and future planning now that their quote unquote one of their stars is gone. Um, with Florida acquiring Brad, like I said, it's going to help with the offensive depth, valuable playoff experience. He brings a wealth of experience, playoff pedigree, and a reputation as a skilled and tenuous player for the Florida Panthers, potentially, hopefully, getting another Stanley Cup win this year.
All right, so I'm gonna be talking about this other significant trade, which is the Colorado and New York Islanders, sorry. So for that, for the Colorado receiving Brock Nelson, William Dufour, and for the other side is two draft picks, first round and third round pick, and Richie and Killington. But I want to focus on Nelson on this. So I think for Brock Nelson trade, I think it's also a good addition for the Colorado for having him. Aside from age, for he has a good career on his, and also it is his he, um, last year for his contract from the New York. So I think it's a huge ad for them for the Avalanche. So they said that Brock's caliber, center position, big, long, strong, can skate, and highly productive, getting better with age. He's always been trusted 200-foot player. And if you look at his history, he's scoring 30 plus goals most years too. So to get a player of this caliber is hard to do. So I think it's an amazing ad for the team. So for one thing that the Colorado Avalanche trade for giving out the third round pick, the 2028 third round pick. Colorado Avalanche by a percentage, it's only a transfer for so basically the condition for this is it will own the percentage for it is to be the transfer of the trade is uh it is good because the team is really eager to win now. I think Colorado is trying to build a team for playoffs. It's a real bona fide second option for them with a career goal of 27 goals, 23 assists, 50 points, and 78 playoff games. I think he has all that accolades with him that he could bring for this team. Yeah. What can you say about that, Matt?
Think it's a good trade for both sides. Obviously, the Islanders are looking to offload an expiring contract in Brock Nelson and get some picks back in return. They got a really good player in Richie back, a great prospect. I would say top 25 in hockey. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a win-win for both sides. Obviously, conditions such as if he resigns in Colorado or not, that matters. If Colorado can't sign him to a new deal, then they essentially just traded for Nelson for half a season. If they don't win the cup, it's not really worth it. But we see this all the time in hockey, especially nowadays. The big dogs are just going all in for the cup, and that's how it should be. Speaking of big dogs, the biggest trade at the deadline, Mikko Rantanen traded twice in one deadline. I don't think anybody saw this coming. Uh, Speaking of Colorado, his ex-team, Mikko Rantanen was traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. As soon as he got there, though, things didn't look too bright. It wasn't a match for both sides. Rantanen already had in his head that he didn't want to sign with Carolina long term, and he is also an expiring free agent. So this kind of led Carolina to look at other uh, potential destinations for him. They ended up trading him to the Dallas Stars after signing him to a $12 million AAV for 8 years, which brings him to $96 million by the end of the 8 years. Carolina is getting back Logan Stankoven, two first round picks that are top 10 protected in 2026 and 2028. And then they get two third round picks, one being in 2026 and 2027. The main player here would be Logan Stankoven as part of the return, who is not a bad player, still very young, 22 years of age. A smaller forward, still looking to reach his potential. He had really good numbers in the WHL before joining Dallas last year. He posted 97 points in 48 games. This year in Dallas before his trade to Carolina, he had 29 points in 59 games, nine of those points being goals, 20 being assists. So far in Carolina, he has 4 points in 7 games, one of those being a goal and three being an assist. And obviously, the big winner here at the deadline is Dallas Stars. They get Mikko Rantanen for 8 more years after this year. They add him to an already amazing power play. Uh, Obviously, they have a great team. They are second in the FanDuel betting odds to win the cup this year. They went all in. They got their guy. They add Mikko Rantanen, who is eighth in the last 5 years for power play goals to their power play right now. That is ranked fifth this season. And Rantanen has been playing with Rupe Hintz and Jason Robertson on the top line there, already having better chemistry than he did in Carolina with his teammates there. And honestly, I think it's a great addition to their team. Just want to say thank you for watching the podcast or listening. Please don't forget to like and comment. Leave your suggestions in the comments as to what your favorite trade was at the deadline. And yeah, thank you.